So I am here. Mr. Anderson wanted to be here today, our superintendent. He's out sick today, and Mr. Jensen has an appointment, and so they asked me to step in. Our district has been looking at a balanced calendar for a few months. The state, with all that's gone on in schools in the last year, our state has identified areas of growth and change that needs to take place. They call one of those areas learning loss. So students haven't been in school, high school students down through kindergarten and preschool, young people. And so the state has created a guide that schools take as recommendations, and one of those things that can help with learning loss and kind of changing the way we've done things at schools is a balanced calendar. So a balanced calendar, an easy way to think about a balanced calendar is that instead of school starting at the end of August and ending at the beginning of June, we're going to kind of shrink those times, or shrink summer. So more, let's say, middle of August and middle of June or end of June, and that's what you'll see on this calendar in front of you, okay? For us, another way our district is looking at K-12 or preschool through 12th grade to help students is, you'll notice the first calendar in the top left is in July, and our district plans to have a summer academy for all grade levels, all schools, that identify certain students who need help and support, so need academic support. So that'll be in July. And then we've instituted a balanced calendar for next school year. So when you start earlier and your school year goes later into June, how does that work? So when you're looking at this calendar, we do start earlier in August, we do go a little bit later in June, but students and staff still have the same number of school days. So we still have 180 school days like we do this year when we started on August 26th and go to June 10th. So the difference is that in a balanced calendar, you institute intersession weeks within the calendar, all right? And so that is how, through the intersession weeks, we identify certain students. Could be any student that's identified to come in for extra support. The thinking is that these different intersessions is that at one point, all students should be included or invited to participate on one of those weeks, all right? So one of the things about the intercession weeks that you'll notice I said is that students will be invited to go to them. Students are not required or mandated to attend them, okay? Just like teachers, teacher contracts are for 180 days of school, and that's how many days students have in a school year. And this calendar has the same thing, and so again, teachers are not required to attend, teach, participate in the intercessions. We're hoping that teachers and other staff do to support that learning and those activities, but they will be paid separately outside of their contract. Okay? Similarly, students will be paid extra for the academic learning and the activities that they would have in those intercessions. Okay? So you'll notice, again, July, that's before the school starts. So there's 2 weeks of summer academy in the middle of July. Moving forward, the idea is that we stay away from July and the summertime because we have the weeks of intercession built into the school year. In this calendar, you'll notice there's 3 weeks of intercessions. There's the green weeks. There's one in October, one in January, and then one at the end of March. And so those are the 3 weeks of intercession. So again, what that means is schools will design activities for identified and targeted groups of students to attend for different activities, enrichment, and recovery. Okay? So then there's another one in January and another one in March. Okay? So this is our school districts, and many school districts in the valley and across the state are looking at going to a balanced calendar of sorts. Okay, so this is probably going to become, at least in our state, probably going to become fairly normal. Right now, it may sound foreign. You're doing what to my summer? But the idea is that if we can shrink from, say, 10 or 12 weeks this summer down to 6 or 7 weeks, then that greatly enhances the chances of students ending the school year coming back to start the next school year with that learning, right? So it's reducing learning loss. That's one of the reasons for balanced calendars, is you reduce learning loss over the summer. Okay? So, with that, are there any questions? Yes.
I keep hearing balanced calendar. What does that mean exactly? Balanced calendar.
So a balanced calendar is one where we try to balance out more of the learning days throughout the calendar year. So throughout the 365 days. One of the things our district has done to try to help implement this for staff, for students, and for families in the community is we're going into it slowly. And so you'll notice there's the 3 intercession weeks in this calendar. In following years, that will increase to possibly 5 or 6. So where we'd have 5 or 6. And so of course what that means then is the August start date moves up and the June end date moves down. So as we add another week, that would extend the school year on one side, the beginning or the end. And so we're starting out, we're kind of easing into it with 3 intercession weeks, but eventually we're looking at moving to 5 or 6. That's because that becomes a more balanced calendar. Again, the less learning loss that you can have in the summer, the better, and so you want a little bit of summer. We don't want to take away summer. To be clear, that is not the intent of a balanced calendar, nor what the district wants to do. What the district wants to do is support students, and this is shown to be a way that we can help students retain the learning and continue to advance. So, let that sit, settle. Are there any questions?